DC, CEO, wanna change your life? Come see me, yo. I'ma teach you how to build up wealth for your family, not just for yourself. I'm a bestseller, a house flipper, a businesswoman, a go-getter, a big investor, a goal builder that can teach you to get richer like millions, baby. You really about to fill your savings. You about to have multiple streams to pass your children, baby. Let me teach you to get your credit on track in the long run. You'll make it all back at Catalyst and watch it all psychology black-owned firm, but we ain't all black.
What's up? What's up? What's up? You guys are already in the comments. Y'all debating in the comments already. It is crazy. We are live, and it's your girl, Constance Carter. It's the Grow Your Money podcast, where we talk about how to grow your money and not blow your money. Because if you blow your money, it ain't a damn thing funny. What's happening? Listen, you know I'm stalling because you know I got to do this thing on Facebook real quick. For all of those who are new, I'm Constance Carter, and this is the Grow Your Money podcast. And we always try to talk about things that benefit you in somehow, some way, that's going to be edify our community, that's going to uplift, that's going to do all the things. And so today, you know, every time I bring my good girlfriend here, we like to just change it up a little bit and talk about some other things that I think are also important to our community. But, you know, I'm stalling right now because I'm doing something. Hold up. Boom. All right, y'all. What's happening? What's up, my people? Listen, you guys are already, it's a lot going on. Y'all are already here and y'all are ready. And you know, every time we go live, I love for you to talk back to me and talk black to me. So wherever you watching from, I know we have people that watch from all over the world. So make sure you put where you are in the comments so I can shout you out. So what's up, Sophia? Who else do we have? Because I didn't see, because I was trying to do a thing on Facebook. Who else? And you know, we're on like 8 different platforms. What's up, Anita? You've been here. You got here before I got here today. So I saw you coming when I got on. What's up, lovely JR, all the way from Seattle, Washington. We got all of our people who are on every single day. And you know, I appreciate you because you could be anywhere else in the world, but you choose to come and hang out here and talk back to us. So I appreciate that. What's up, Gino from Charleston, South Carolina? What's happening? And then, you know, also, listen, this is very important. It's very, very muy importante. If you are a Black-owned business, what's up, Real Estate Smarts, or you know a Black-owned business, put that Black-owned business in the comments, because listen, with everything that's going on crazy in this world, the only way we gonna survive is with each other. So make sure you put your Black-owned business in the comments, and we're gonna just put it on the screen. So that, what's up, Nina? So that people can see it, because we want people to reach out to you. So whatever it is that you do, guess what? Somebody will pay handsomely for it. And it is important. It's extremely important. So we want to make sure that we shout you out and that we give you the exposure. It's all about networking. And it's all about working together. And it's all about collective economics, because that's the way that we are going to thrive and survive. What's up, Sparkle from Vegas? What's crack-a-lack and Big Mac-it? West Coast in the building. What's up, Jai from ATL? Always rocking with me. So listen, you know, I think it's time for us to take the podcast mics away, because I see all kind of craziness. You know, and there's this whole battle of the sexes, and we always have the red pill and the blue pill and all these different things and these different conversations. And this is not, I don't want to have this battle of the sexes conversation. This is not what this is about. What I really want to have, I want to have a dialogue, because what we have to do, Black people, is we have to work on building and not tearing down. We have to work on growing and not receding. We got the only way. Listen, I don't know if y'all know, and I say this all the time. There was an article in Forbes magazine that said, and it was based upon research that said, if we continue on the same path, that in the year 2053, Black median wealth was going to be a 0, and not far behind that, Hispanic wealth was going to be a 0 as well. We have the lowest marriage rates. And the reason why the wealth gap is so widening is because Black people are getting married at a lower rate than everybody else. And the reason why, when you look at household incomes, our household incomes are significantly lower than everybody else's. $47,000 is our household median income right now, because a lot of us are headed by one parent household. So we don't have those two incomes to help us to grow the wealth. And so I want to have a conversation around this whole idea of Black masculinity, because as a Black woman who has been the primary provider in my household for, 30 years, I was in a relationship for 30 years, and I was the primary breadwinner. It actually causes you to kind of have a sort of masculinity with what you do, with what you carry, whether you want to or not. But before we actually jump into this dialogue, I want to bring a few friends on here and talk about it, because I think this is an important dialogue that we need to have. And of course, I always love your comments. I always love to have you chime in, because we want to know your opinions too, because there's a lot of y'all that's watching. So the first person I want to bring up is my good girlfriend. She's on here every single week, every Wednesday, and we like to talk about all the crazy things. You guys talk, you guys call her all kind of names, good and bad and everything in between. So I want to bring my girlfriend, April Sampe.
APRILSAMPE, y'all say. One more time, APRILSAMPE, y'all say.
So listen, April Sampe, she always does that at the end of her shows, because she wants you to follow her at APRILSAN. What's up, April? What's cracking? I can't hear you. You're muted.
Did you know that your Paydex score is actually provided by Dun & Bradstreet? Did you know that?
What book is that you're reading, April?
Oh, it's called the Wealth Accelerator Workbook. If you all don't have this, you're broke.
April.
Hello,
so we have a couple of more people, because I want to hear from Black men today. But the idea,
good Black man.
Yes. Well, you have a song about Black men.
It's called Manthem, and it says on there, oh Lord, a black man. I don't even know my word. Wait, how does it go, Constance?
He looks good when he's older. He got the world on his shoulder.
He's looking better when he's older.
Yeah.
He's the strongest thing that ever walked the planet.
Uh-huh.
So lift him up and give this man some credit. It just baffles me why everybody doesn't see the Black man as beautiful as the Black man is. Uh-huh. Black men are amazing. Y'all give some Black men some love, because I don't even have a voice, but I got enough for a good old Black man, honey.
Well, let me tell you something. It's some Black men in the comments that's going in right now. So this is definitely something that I think we need to get a Black man in on this conversation. So I wanted to have somebody that I thought could bring a really strong perspective. And this gentleman he has over 20 years as a leadership and personal development coach. He coaches Black men. He has a podcast, and he is actually a relationship advocate. His name is Mr. Chauncey Livingston. What's up, Chauncey?
What's happening, people? What's happening?
What's cracking?
Oh man, just living today. I appreciate them kind words, April, and I appreciate that rap as well.
It's a song actually, but you got it. I wrote it for you actually.
Yeah, I appreciate that. That the APRIL gonna be stuck in my head all day today. Thank you.
So where are you hailing from, Mr. Chauncey?
Currently, I'm in Kentucky right now. So originally from Kansas, but yeah, just down here getting some of these Kentucky vibe and these country, rural living right now. So it's pretty peaceful for me. So
it's peaceful. You like Kentucky?
Yeah, I like my peace and quiet and my serenity. So I dig that. So
okay. All right. So for the audience, because I know they going in, before you roll your eyes or clench your fist, take a breath. Because we have a powerful group, and we have one more gentleman that's going to be coming on shortly, Black men, Black women, to talk about respectfully about, this whole idea of Black women masculinity. And I already see in the comments that there are people who have this opinion on Black women, on so-called Black American women, because I've seen somebody said in the comments that, women from other countries don't act like this. So this conversation wasn't meant to be a bash fest. This is a love letter wrapped in accountability, because we're not just asking the questions, we're digging into the roots. What shaped us, Black people? What broke us, Black people? And how can we rebuild the trust between Black men and Black women? The love, the trust, and the unity. Because let's be clear, y'all, when Black men and Black women are aligned, we are unstoppable.
Can I tell you what messed it all up?
What?
They took the Black man out of the home.
Oh, is that right?
That's me. I'm just saying, like, they took the Black man out of the home. As soon as they made welfare the daddy, and this is my opinion, as soon as they made welfare the daddy, that's when everything changed, because Black women had to be the father of the house, of the household, right?
Mhm.
They had to take care of the children on both sides. And so if you don't have a role to play, or if you're playing both roles, you don't know how to differentiate who you are at any time. So if you're in front of a man, you're like, what do I don't owe you anything. I'm the one who's taking care of everything. I'm the one who, and you ain't shit. And I'm sorry to say, it makes my ass itch from the absolute bottom of my whole entire heart when I hear women say, you ain't shit to a man. Because I'm like, the world is already telling him that. What you need to do is build him up. And yes, granted, it's not our job to necessarily build him up, but I'm sorry to say, it is our job 100% to build him up. That is my job as a wife. I build my husband up every day. I remind him that he is the man. I wrote a song about him. Okay.
Anthem.
I did listen, and it's the anthem for beautiful Black men. I feel that they are so. It's not fair that they don't get the encouragement that they deserve, and they don't get the accolades that they deserve. Black men are so fucking amazing, and it's not fair that they don't hear it every day.
So who took the Black man out of the home? Well, no, I don't even want to talk about that. So where do you think this originated, Chauncey? This whole idea of Black women being masculine.
Man, I agree with April, as a part of it. But to me, I look even like deeper, like back into the slavery. Yes, I'm going to talk about that for a little bit, because there's some traumas and some things that Black women had to step up and be strong for, to keep their kids, on the plantations, and to not have them taken away from them, to growing up, fast forward into the future where, like April was saying, like the man was taken out of the homes. Like, what is a woman supposed to do if they have kids? Like they have to become a little bit masculine, and they have to step up and play that role of both parents. And, with society the way it is, and different types of social media settings, and different types of social media outlets saying that you have to be a strong woman. Like, you can be super independent. For me, as when I talk about relationships, I talk about the synergy that having two people who support each other in a household, in a home, or just in a relationship, how much that does to a person's life, and how much that does to a person's mental health. And when April was saying that we need to build each other up, like, that is a true thing. Like, men aren't asking for sympathy, right? We're not asking to do something that we don't want to do ourselves. Like, every man wants to have a loving relationship. Every man wants to be built up. Every man wants to be validated. Every man wants to be loved, just like every woman wants to. But somehow, some way along the lines, for women, and again, this is not a bash fest. Like, we want to support and get to the root of why we do this. But along the lines, some women have been just told that they can, independence is the way to go. Like,
so just like Manford said he disagreed. Welfare didn't take Black men out of the home. Some Black women bought into white feminism, which I don't know. But to your point, April, actually, I did, I do my Black History spotlights, right? And I just want to just highlight, just to piggyback off of what you said, because I think it's important. I'm gonna show y'all a video that I did about that very thing that April talks about. Watch this. Did you know the U.S. government once penalized Black families for having fathers in the home, and the effects are still felt today? During the 1960s and 70s, public assistance programs such as welfare and housing aid included what was called the man in the house rule. Under this rule, a woman could not receive government assistance if a man, even the father of her children, was living in a home. This forced thousands of Black families into a heartbreaking choice: stay together and struggle financially, or separate so the mother and the children could receive benefits. For many Black fathers, this meant 1, being forced out of their own homes, 2, struggling with unemployment due to discrimination, and 3, watching their families suffer economically despite their best efforts. Even though the rule was eventually struck down, the damage was already done. It contributed to generational poverty. Instead of building Black wealth, Black families had to survive on unstable government aids. It contributed to fatherless households. This policy incentivized single-parent homes, leading to a rise in a father absence. And then 3, mass incarceration. As economic opportunities shrank for Black men, many were funneled into the prison system. How does it still affect us today? Well, Black families still face economic disadvantages due to lost generational wealth. The stereotype of the absent Black father was largely created by policies like this, not by choice. In reality, Black fathers are among the most involved parents when present. Government policies still shape Black wealth and family structures, making it critical to understand history and advocate for our economic empowerment. Well, what's the solution? We got to build our own economic power. We got to practice collective economics, invest in circulating our dollars within the community. We got to have more financial literacy, teaching wealth building strategies and dependency. And we need to have real estate ownership to secure land and assets for our future generations. We must reclaim our financial independence and rewrite our family legacy. The past does not define us, but understanding it helps us shape a better future. Now stay woke, wealthy, outstanding, knowledgeable, and empowered, and let's continue to build. Now drop a Black fist in the comments and share with others who need to know this Black history. Now, are y'all sharing? Did y'all drop a Black fist in the comments? Listen, that needs to be said because I think that is largely it's a symptom, or the problem stems from, the welfare, just like April said, taking the Black man out of the home. Black men were penalized. Imagine this, a big old burly Black man having to hide in the closet at night because he wants to come home and be with his family. And investigator coming and shining a light on this Black man hiding in his own home because he had to choose, well, these racist ass white motherfuckers ain't giving me no job, so I can't go to work, but I got to choose on if I'm gonna stay in this house, I'm gonna get beat down by the system, or I'm gonna go out and we're gonna say we're not together so that my kids could eat. Having to make that type of choice. And now you have, go ahead, April.
Well, this is the only thing that I would so see, I always play devil's advocate, right? The problem is that it went from them still trying to work with keeping their family together, even though it was apart, still keeping their family together, and then psychologically saying, all right, well, then I guess I'm good. I'm going to go ahead and just do me while you do you. Mm-hmm. So I think that, and I always go back to this, Good Times, right? Yeah. I'm sorry, I know it's fictitious, but you look at Good Times and they worked so hard to not be on welfare. They worked so hard to keep the family unit together. Granted, James decided to go ahead and die, but I'm just saying, damn. I think that's where the problem went, where everybody decided to go for comfort. I'm sorry, I'm eating a Halls. Go for comfort as opposed to struggle, right? Because sometimes you have to struggle in order to get better. And people are like, nah, I'd rather just be comfortable. I think that's why we have the lifestyle that we have. I think that's why they have so many masculine women and so many feminine men, because everybody chose comfort as opposed to wanting to just put in a little bit of work. Because I'm like, if you really look at it, you could have just stayed in the closet. No shade. I mean, nobody wants to stay in the closet, but you could have stayed in the closet. You know what I mean? You could have done whatever you had to do to keep your family together. Now, it's the same situation. You want to be on welfare. You can't have another person who's staying in the house who's working. That means you can't have your baby daddy staying in the house. Ain't nothing changed. It's just the name changed, right? There's nothing changed. So my whole thing is, why are we focusing so much on comfort? You can have this vagina, this vagina, this vagina. You can have this baby daddy, this baby daddy, this baby daddy. You still get your welfare. You good. So as opposed to saying, I want to work with my family, keep my family together by any means necessary. Find a job, however I can find a job. If you need to stay on welfare to take care of our kids, do what you got to do. Start being comfortable, being uncomfortable. Everybody's like, no, I want to stay comfortable in my comfort. And that's where the problem lies.
So let me ask you this, Chauncey. So as a Black man, how are you taught to show up for your family in the community? Like, how are Black men taught to show up? And does that have an effect on how Black women are having to show up? Because are Black women really masculine, or are we just in survival mode?
I think part of it is survival mode. Like, let's go back to the Black man. For me, like, to me, we're taught to provide. go to work, put a roof over our family's head, discipline, teach our kids how to grow up to be outstanding, upstanding citizens, and still look out for cops and how to behave when, you know, we're pulled over and all those things. So I think as a Black man, and just for me, yeah, I don't know how to like maybe put that into words of. I know we're taught to provide and to protect. So as a Black man, we need to be in a way where, I don't know, I guess we can support the Black women and support what they do.
But with that being said, though, because is the way that the Black men are showing up, is that reflective of how the Black women are responding?
Part of it is.
It's kind of like it's like the chicken or the egg, right? So what caused what? What was, I know systematic racism and all the things that happened, because I seen in the comments, somebody said, well, you know, Black women from other countries are not like Black women here. And do you know by ourselves? Like, do you think we just are bred aggressively? Like we just got, so what is the thing? How are you taught to show up? And is that the cause of how Black women are showing up? Or are Black women showing up in a way that's causing Black men to respond in the way that they are?
I think it's a bit of both. You know, some Black women are showing up in that way, and it's like April was saying, like it's the human mind's natural thought is to follow the path of least effort and to do what's easy for us.
Okay.
And working hard on relationships and working hard on fighting for being with the family and staying with the family and not hiding in the closet, like that's difficult for a lot of people, and people don't want to do that. People don't want to face that, you know, for whether it's ramifications of what that may cause if they stay in that closet and they're caught, and then you factor in the prison system in there, you know, so to speak. So if they're caught in the closet and they're caught and they're sent to the prison, they're in the same boat where they're out of the homes of the women, and the women are in the same situation. So men have to step out and be outside of the homes and follow that easy path. And sometimes that easy path is doing what they do on their own single, where they are still able to focus on that family. But some men just, you know, they get out on their own and they maybe forget the family. And then that woman has to step up and fill that masculine role, because once they separated, out of sight, out of mind, you know, the woman didn't know if the man was coming back.
Listen, we can't, for the most part, women can't just leave, because we still got to take care of our families. We still got responsibilities. Men can just kind of waver on and kind of do their thing. I mean, I'm gonna be real. That's what happened. Yeah, I have 4 kids, and 3 of the 4 kids are grown, but I'm the one that still has to protect, provide, and all the things for my kids. And my son sent us all a meme, and he reposted it on his TikTok, and it said, me watching my divorced dad on social media, and it's the guy on a jet ski. He's like doing all these things while mama got to be at home holding the shit down. You know what I'm saying? And that's how it is. Like if there's a separation in the family, men feel like, you know, they don't have to be responsible, or they can just kind of do them. And it's unfortunate that I think a lot of times we are masculine because we have to be. There's a video I want you guys to look at, because there is a video that kind of speaks to my life. And I really resonated with this. This is Ebony Williams, but watch this.
A lot of young ladies out here that are men in skirts. I look as feminine as possible because I am trying to overcompensate. I'll own it. I'll be vulnerable. I am trying to visually overcompensate for what I know is a default masculine posture that I walk through the world with every day. Of course I do. You see my taxes. No, I mean, but for real, you know, I got a payroll, you know, and so when you are leading in this way, when you are providing not just for yourself, but for those around you, your whole community, how are you not masculine in your energy, right? Yeah. But to Melissa's point, most of the women I know, especially the Black women, we would love if we didn't have to. Woo. What people don't realize. What'd you say? I want to be soft and pink. Correct. Yeah. What most people don't realize is that most masculine women are masculine by mandate, not by choice. Yeah. We're masculine because we have been made to be. Yeah. We're masculine because if I don't go qualify for this mortgage, if I don't put these kids kids in the best schools, if I don't really make sure that my neighborhood is safe for me and my children to walk down, it won't be safe.
Okay.
When I tell you that was April, you know, that was 100% my life.
Okay, so here's the thing, because it was my life too. Now, don't get it twisted. It definitely was not my life on the level that it was your life. I'm sorry, your life. Amen. But it was my life too, right? And I can honestly say that my biggest problem was I was choosing a man who did not know how to be a man. And it is not my job, and I make this very clear, to teach a man how to be a man. I can't do it. I don't know how to do it. There's no possible way for me to do it. So I ended up meeting this wonderful piece of man candy that I now call my husband. And he makes my ass itch. He gets on my last and final nerves. I can't stand him sometimes, but he is the best thing for me. He has taught me how to be a woman. You know what I'm saying? He's taught me how to be more feminine and be able to sit my ass down. He is the only person that can say, sit your ass down. And I'm like, okay. You know what I mean? I turn into this big ball of femininity and I didn't know that that was even possible. So my question is, are women able to actually understand that when a man comes in the room, that she has to then sit her ass down and remove her masculine cape and then become the feminine being
that she's supposed to be? Yeah, that's
that.
No. I'm saying what you're saying is true, because women had to be men for so long that they don't even know how to be a woman.
So my question is, because we all say this is what I can't stand, what I'm hearing on social media now. Everybody says, I want to live my feminine life. I want to live my soft life. Then they meet a beautiful black man that is like, I can provide that for you. Can you sit your ass down? They're like, you ain't gonna tell me to sit down. You're not gonna tell me. I'm the woman. I can do what I want to. You do what I tell you. Like, no, that is not. Then you're not with a man.
Yeah, that's the deal, April. Like that's what like I see. From my point of view, is giving up that. Feeling like it's feeling like you're giving up something, right? The relationship that you say you have is built off of mutual respect. Where if he comes in the house, you're like, okay, I can sit my ass down. I'm okay with that because I know this person, when he's telling me to sit my ass down, he has the best interest in heart for me. And I don't think people want to open up and have that conversation. Again, it's already starting off with being defensive, right? And it's how their vocabulary and their paradigm of thinking was built in their head, right? They're already thinking that any conversation that is had with somebody is got to be a confrontation, right? Or I have to start off being defensive
because they had to be. Yeah.
But that's like old way of thinking, and that's the problem. Like I saw somebody in the comments talking about it sounds like the women on the show are bashing the men. Like that's not what that is, right? And that's our thinking. That's not going to get us to move forward, right? This whole thinking and this whole conversation is to bring up and enlighten the fact of this is an issue that we want to get fixed, right? Like I don't have to speak with an authority for me to go out there and bust somebody's ass, like to do that. Like I can be as masculine, I can be emotional, I can be vulnerable, and still do what I need to do. So this is about like respect. This is about learning. This is about understanding. But yeah, April, like you touched on something, like it's got to be built off a mutual relationship, and people have to. I think when people hear, we get so caught up in the definition and the terms like submit, right? I haven't read the Bible much, but I know that there is a foundational piece.
I'll teach you.
Look, there's a foundational piece in there that makes so much like sense. Like if it's built off of respect, like, and if women want to live in their feminine, like that does involve some type of submission, right? And that's not submission like you're giving up your whole lifestyle. So if you work and become like better for you and understand you and you're your best version of yourself, like you're completely comfortable submitting because you know that relationship is built off of mutual understanding and mutual respect. So
if you know that man's gonna take care of you, but I will say, but cousin Dro. That's my cousin from the Bay Area. He said every male is not a man, and then he also said I think men and women became super desensitized through different lived experiences and
True.
trauma, and we bring our baggage to these relationships. Because I'm going to be honest with you, April, because I've had to be the man for so long. When you say, well, are you going to relinquish that masculinity and allow a man to lead you and operate in that? It's scary.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, because I've been used to having to figure things out my entire life. I've been used to having to make the decisions for my family and for my children. I've been used to having to make those financial moves in just and to say, okay, I trust you, and let your guard down. That is going to be a challenge for me. I'm not even going to lie. I'm not saying that that's not what I want, because I'm tired of being a man. Listen, the other day, me and my daughter, we was talking about getting her car fixed, and and I was like, we shouldn't be doing this shit. We need a man in this house that needs to be doing this shit. Like, there is just certain things that as women, I got to take care of all of that. And the thing that makes it hard for me, y'all, is I moved 3,000 miles away from my family. So even when I was married, I would be like, hey, can you do this? I'll say, hey, do you mind, putting up this picture, or would you mind doing this or whatever? And if he would say no, and I said, okay, this is exactly how the conversation will go. Oh, don't worry about it. I'll ask my dad to do it. And then when I would say, ask my dad to do it, it'll be like, well, no, I got it. Right. But then after the marriage ended, I had my dad and my brother. So I never had an issue with, having things taken care of for me. Now that I'm 3,000 miles away and I'm single, and I'm happily single, the thing that does suck about being single is I still got to figure shit out, and I have nobody else, and I have to pay for those types of things. So that sucks. I don't want to be having to fix no shit. My dad taught me how to change a tire. He taught me how to change the oil. He taught me how to fix something. Like this desk that I'm on, I put it together. My son's bed, like I know how to, but do I want to do that shit? Absolutely not. I would like, even if the man can't build it, he could hire somebody to do it. But I don't want to do everything. And it is exhausting. But I do want to share this other video with you guys. And I want to get your opinion on this, because it is funny, because, when we talk about Black women and Black men and their masculinity, and we see a lot of people in the comments who actually have the same type of opinion. So look at here.
Often the reality of how Black women actually are matches up really well with the stereotypes. They're too masculine. They're vulgar. Half of them are tatted up like the subways in Harlem, look like they just got off the pen doing 10. They're not willing to do the feminine things that men appreciate, like defer, which is like, if we're not sure, you're going to go the man's way because he's the leader. They're all about being an independent woman. They're ratchet as hell, want to fly down to Las Vegas and Miami and have a hot girl summer. They have no respect for male leadership because half of them were raised by a single mother. And so they're like, I don't need no man. I could do it by myself. And nobody wants that. So when you say, why are Black men avoiding them? It's because it's not because they're Black women. It's because they're unruly women. And the reason I say that is because if you look at Black women on the continent of Africa, they're so feminine, they're soft-spoken, they're not disrespectful. So it's not Black women, it's African-American women. Don't know how to shut the and sit down. Tell me I'm wrong.
I want to hear from Chauncey.
Look, I tend to think a little bit different, a little bit more like cerebral. So I'm not going to be like talking like that. You talked about like traumas that people have a while back. And I feel like that is the basis of a lot of how everybody thinks, women, men. And there's a lot of traumas that haven't been addressed and haven't been worked through, so that not only the Black woman can understand, but the Black man, like some of the Black men don't even put themselves in a position where they're wanting to understand. And that is a big problem in a lot of relationships. That is a big problem in trying to understand somebody. Nobody wants to try to understand from another person's situation. Nobody wants to do that. Like, nobody wants to look themselves in the mirror and say that maybe I need to work on something myself. Why do I feel so defensive about what this person says? You know what I mean? Like, that is the biggest issue right there too. Like when people talk like that, and people have their right or opinion and their right to feel how they feel and right to express things how they express. But deep down, a lot of people aren't wanting to do the work on themselves. And if you did the work on yourselves, you would probably have a little bit more grace and a little bit more understanding in trying to figure out why that person acts like that, why Black women act like that, why women in general act like that. But that's the thing. Like I'm fully comfortable in my skin and who I am and working on myself, right? So when I listen to somebody, like if Constance, if you're had an issue or if you're upset about something, like my first reaction isn't going to be defensive or no, you shouldn't feel like that, right? I need to try to understand the feeling that you're feeling right now. I need to understand why are you, obviously this bothers Constance. Obviously this bothers April, or they wouldn't be bringing it to me, or they wouldn't show so much passion when they're conveying it to me. That's what I need to figure out. And once us men get to being comfortable with just asking questions and not taking things so like defensive or personal, I think that would help out a lot. And that goes both ways, but I'm just speaking for the men right now. So
okay. April, what you think about that bullshit ass bullshit that the bullshitter said?
I'm not mad at him that he's entitled to his opinion.
Right.
Ignorance, though, I would have to say it was very ignorant. The reason I would say that is that's the same as saying all Black people are bad.
Mm-hmm.
All Black people, are heavily in crime. Like, that's not true. That's not all Black women. You know what I mean? And I think that that's what the problem is. If you look on television, all Black women are angry Black women.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, if you watch TV, all Black women flip tables.
Yeah.
I have never flipped a table once. I was invited to be on a reality show where they wanted me to flip tables. And I'm like, absolutely not, because that is not me.
Right.
You just want me to be this person because I'm a big Black woman. That's not me. You know what I'm saying? So it angers me because what you're trying to do is put us all in a box, and we're not all in a box. And he said things like, if you go to other countries, excuse me, then go to South America. You know what I mean? Just go to every country in South America. The majority of the women are feisty. And so are you
right? That's what they said. Italian women, they run their households. They are like super, masculine. So I had
Russian women are feisty. I'm just saying, like, don't.
But they want to paint us. That's because they're limited experience. They're limited.
Right.
You got a podcast, and they didn't had a couple of ghetto chicks, or they have small penises, and so they don't know how to deal with a strong Black woman, and so that's what ends up happening. But because I just thought about another video that I didn't already have prepared, but I want to show you this video because I seen. And hopefully my daddy ain't watching this because he be watching. Let me tell y'all, yesterday, my dad said, I'll tell you in a minute. But anyway, let me show you this one thing. Because this dude straight checked these clowns. Watch this.
Oh,
fine. Is my preference is not my women. Now, I thought it was I'm not dating my women, period, which is the corniest human being outside of a criminal to me, period. Those are your roots. Those women are reflected in your roots. So if you're saying, hey, I don't generally date them, but I have more space for it, even though I still think it's a little corny.
Akash only dates brown. Akash has been with one girl in his life who is his wife.
That's my wife. That's an
so
Indian
this
woman.
is like loyal through and through.
Okay. And I understand it's not as important for y'all, but as an Indian, there's not a lot of us who are famous. So whether you like it or not, people are looking at you as a role model. You guys have established yourself as role model. From simps to pimps, which is another motto I find kind of corny, but I looked into what you guys are about. And a lot of the shit is just childish, which is fine if you want to be funny. We just talk about how doctors ain't shit for 45 minutes. Mm-hmm. We are not in any way life coaching. We are not in any way trying to help men outside of, hey, come have a laugh for a couple hours. Right. If you're going to paint yourself as life coaches and then say, like, my preference is, which is honestly, is I don't want to date Black girls. That's the way every Black dude that fucks girls says it. I've dated Black girls in my life. All right, bro. Who the fuck hasn't except me? You know what I mean? Everybody gonna dabble in everything. It is the mentality that I have an issue with. And Alex is upset with the specific words, true, but underneath it, he's upset with the mentality. And a lot of stuff you guys say in general, I think is stuff that's kind of childish. I saw a clip where you were like, oh, the nuclear family's falling apart. What do? I don't get married. Just don't get married. You actually trying to help men, or you talking to fucking incels who are 18 years old? That's some shit you said at college. I'm gonna turn you from a simp to a pimp. All right, bro. Can we grow up? You guys are self-help. Hey, we're trying to help men. So either we're funny or help men and be real and be honest with yourself and don't have an ego like, no, I have a preference. Be honest. Let's just be mature about what we feel. And part of that maturity is, it was a bad joke. I don't actually feel exactly that way. I find corny is my preference is not my women.
I love him.
You muted, huh?
You really might be.
Don't you love him?
He's my new bestie. Wait, Constance, I want to know what you thought about that one.
Oh, I mean, it took an Indian guy to tell two black men who say that they don't like black women to tell them how corny they are for actually saying that stupid ass shit out loud. I don't like black women. That is the corniest, dumbest shit I've ever heard. And you do not hear other people saying that they don't like their women. You don't hear a lot of people saying that. But I thought it was great that somebody else had to check them on that.
Yeah.
You know, I had a conversation. This is completely off the subject, but I promise you I'm going somewhere with it. I have a friend and she's Caucasian, and she said something really bad. She was like, I can't stand old white men. And when she said that, I paused for a second, and she was like, can't stand old white men. I said, you're married. And she was like, yeah. I said, okay. I said, your grandfather is white, right? She said, yeah. I said, your dad, wife? She was like, yeah. I said, your husband is going to be old one day, but white, right? She said, yeah. I said, you got a son? And she was like, yeah. I said, damn, that's a lot of people in your family you can't stand. I said, because you ain't never going to hear me say that about my own people. I was like, I'm not going to say that about your people. Right. So I'd be damned if I say it about my own. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't like anybody who says, like, if you say I don't date black women, or I don't date dark-skinned men, or I don't date light-skinned men, or what, fine, that's your preference. It's visual. But you're gonna say I don't like a total blanket of, all these people? Sit down.
Yeah, a lot of people speak in those generals, like I can't stand all, you know what I mean? And like you were saying, Constance, a while back, like it's limited thinking. Like there's a lot of education and a lot of research on that people need to do, but people's easiest thing to do is follow the path of least effort. So nobody's going to put in the effort to do the studying and do the research to get the full truth about everything. So people are going to talk like that. People are going to speak based off of their algorithms in their social media platforms, and that's all that they see. So it's going to feed into their narrative that they're thinking, and it's going to make them continue to feel like they're right. So I think that's all it is, like a lot of what it is. But and those algorithms go back to those traumas.
That's true. Mm-hmm. But let me ask you this though. Do people actually have these conversations about, masculine black women, or I don't like black women because of the way, where does that really stem from?
What do you mean?
Where does the idea of, because he who has the mic is the loudest, I guess. And we see a lot of these dumb motherfuckers with these mics that say stupid ass shit like this.
Facts.
And so with that being said, do you hear this like, is this a common thing? And if so, if you've heard this before, where is this coming from? Where does it stem from? The fact that you have a black man, just like you were saying, April, with a black mother, with black sisters, aunties, uncles, grandparents, grandmothers, will say that they don't like black women, or black women are this, and this. Where does that come from?
Right. Environments, right? A lot of it is the environments that you're in, or the people that you hang around. Like I don't hear it because I'm not hanging around those people like that. I'm on a different level of thinking when I'm around people. We need to be thinking holistically, right? Not this singular, in general. All people are this, or all people are that, or not one person is this. All races are that. Like I'm not thinking simple-minded like that, right? I'm thinking universal and those types of things. And plus, I want to be able to equipped to understand every person. So I'm going to put myself in those situations, in those environments where I'm around successful people who talk about success and talk about wanting to progress and wanting to become better communicators and better understanding of people, better understanding of women. It doesn't matter what, like I said, but it doesn't matter what color, but that's what I believe is environments, Constance. So. Mm-hmm.
It's environments. Okay. So y'all, I got another video I want y'all to watch, but I thought that was interesting. That was an interesting take on, the whole idea of somebody else having to come in and say, you know what, y'all corny as shit, for you to talk about your women in that way. Because here's the thing, you guys, black men, or men in general, I'm not just talking about men, are supposed to be there is a difference between men and women.
Facts.
We can share responsibility in homes. We can bring in the bacon and all that stuff, but there is a hierarchy, I believe,
Facts.
that should be presented in a household, and it's not based upon income. It's not just because I make a significant amount of money, and there are not many men who may make more than me. So I don't look at a provider. I look at a provider that I look at provision as being more than just the money, right? Can you lead me? Okay.
Yes.
So I believe that because, when you have conversations like this where men are blaming women, to me, it shows a lack of manhood on their part, because obviously they can't lead a woman. That's what it says to me. If you have to talk about a woman and what she ain't doing, it's because you can't lead her. It's because you're not man enough to lead her. But let's look at this one.
Hold on, Constance. Before you do that, there was something that old boy said that really stood out. He said, it's not too many Indian guys out there, but it's a lot of black people out there who are saying a lot of the same things, right? And I think that that's where the problem lies. There are so many. If you really look at like entertainment, it's black and white. You don't have too many other races like really out there like that. It's black and it's white, and the people that they push up into the light the most are the ones who are saying the most ignorant things as it relates to black entertainers. And white entertainers, they're always the most intellectual. Does that make sense? And so when you look at it from that standpoint, he made a very valid point. Like, stop saying dumb shit, because you're saying dumb shit and you're getting a spotlight for it. Mm-hmm. Whereas we're not going to say that. It's only a few of us, so we're never going to put our women down. It's only 5 Indians out there that are really making a name for themselves, but it's a million of y'all, and all of you are saying the same bullshit, and it's not true.
Yeah,
that's real messed up. And when you think of it from that perspective, then that means that we need to be louder, and we need to get bigger mics.
So Sophia said they are like that because their mother told them that they are like their father, and she always tell him his dad ain't shit, so they have a dislike for their mother and take it out on women. And I think, I have a cousin that, his mother was a single mother, had men by three baby daddies, lived in poverty and all that stuff. And she was terrible. She abused him. We were a year apart. Now he's crazy. She just passed away. But I know when he got married, he married somebody that was the antithesis, because he said he hated his mom. He married a blonde hair, blue eye girl, had babies with her. But he was so traumatized by being abused by his mom, he then, beat the shit out of the white chick. But he just wanted whatever was the opposite of what he had. So there is that, where you will have some black men who have a hatred for their mother that will have this thought about, black men or black women. What do you guys think about that? Why are you smiling, April?
Because there's some ignorance in the comment section. I love a good ignorant person.
Okay, I know you do. Chauncey, what do you think about that?
I think that all stems to us looking at therapy in the wrong way and not getting it early enough to get that stuff figured out early on in our childhood, so that as we grow up to be adults, we're not carrying that around and holding those same thoughts and those same biases and not able to understand from different situations. I wholeheartedly believe in therapy, especially for black men, which we don't do because it's a stereotype that you got to be crazy or you got to be soft or anything like that you can't get therapy or you're less of a man. It's like, no, I think that needs to be addressed first. And that's the thinking. That's the stuff that carries over into adulthood, to have you thinking of, I'm only going to date this person, the antithesis of, what I grew up with, because if I date somebody that looks like my mother, that they'll turn into my mother, which is dumb thinking, because not everybody thinks the same. Not everybody's background is the same. Not everybody's paradigm and their experiences are the same. So I think that's what it goes back to, is just got to get the help, got to get understanding, got to learn what our traumas are and get those healed and work through that process. So here's another question then. Why don't men hate their fathers for their absence if they hate their mothers for their presence and their abuse?
Because their mother was, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Because their mother was there. Their mother was there the entire time. And so if you're not there, out of sight, out of mind, the person that was there and that was constantly abusing them, that's the one who they're going to give all the credit to, whether good or bad.
I think for the dad piece is because even if their dad wasn't there, they probably had some uncles and everything telling them that you can't be soft, you can't cry, forget about him. So you know what I mean? Like you still had to be tough and had to be masculine. So if the dad's not there, like don't worry about him. Like you can't be soft and be missing anybody.
I be having to tell my boys, listen, y'all can't be. I got to do that and I'm not her. I'm not a father. Unfortunately for my boys, I got to try to say those things and motivate them in their masculinity. But it's tough because I'm a woman and I'm a natural nurturer. And it's unfortunate when you do have men who are being absent. But somebody else said something that I thought was interesting. He said, the toxic barber said, I'm a barber and I watch the way Black mothers talk and teach their sons. This convo is extremely disingenuous. And I thought that was interesting because maybe you are cutting hair in a low socioeconomic area where, you have a lot of people who talk to their children in a certain manner. But the people that I know that I'm around, they don't talk to their children in that way. So maybe it's just the type of people that you're around. But I don't believe that this conversation is disingenuous. I believe that you have different perspectives from different areas, but it's actually our truth. So I don't see Black women talking to Black men crazy. I don't see, huh?
I know. I 100% see that.
Yeah, I don't see Black women flipping over tables. Like I don't see those.
See that, no.
Like I don't. Yeah, that's
no. I do see the you ain't shit, and I think that is something that's passed down, and I hate seeing that. I hear that in the mall. I hear that. That's something that you just hear on a regular basis, right? And you see it on social media. All of the things. It's very frustrating. Mm-hmm. But I want to ask one. I want to pose one other question. Why is it? Damn, y'all. I'm sorry. I was thinking about flipping tables. Oh, why is it not the other way around? So why is it that we're not seeing Black men be, and I'm talking about men who are supposed to be like masculine, be that, have that feminine side. And that's okay. I mean, I don't want it. But what I'm saying is like so many women are being men, but men aren't being women. If they are, they're usually like, maybe they're trans or they're gay or something like that. So I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about a straight man. Mm-hmm. Why is it that we're never looking at him saying, well, why aren't you more feminine? You know what I mean? Or why aren't you more masculine? Sorry. When we see that person, if that makes sense.
I tell a man to man up, man the fuck up.
Well, no, you're saying man the fuck up if it's just a random thing. But like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's not an everyday conversation, but it's like an everyday conversation to tell a Black woman to stop being so masculine because she's so masculine. But it's never the other way around unless it's like the extreme. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So April, you're asking why women don't tell men to be less. I mean, to be a little bit more feminine. Is that what you're?
Why don't we tell men who are a bit more feminine to be more masculine? You know what I'm saying? Why don't we have this opposite conversation when it comes to men? Because let's just be real. So I was watching. This is really random, but I was watching Pop the Balloon. Don't judge me, y'all. That show is so funny.
That's my guilty pleasure with my kids.
It is. It makes me so happy. So I'm sitting there watching Pop the Balloon, and when there was this guy, very handsome guy, but very feminine, and I'm just like, are we sure that he is supposed to be here? And he's like, this is what I'm looking for, blah 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 blah. Why isn't anybody looking at him that way? But yet, flip it. There'll be a woman on there and they're like, yeah, pop it, pop it, pop it. Her voice is a little too deep. Pop it, pop it, pop it. She just seems like she's one of those types of women that you can't tell her anything. And it's like, I'm just trying to understand why it's never the other way around. I
understand what you're saying now. That is a good question.
Yeah, I didn't say it correctly in the beginning, but y'all get what I'm trying to say. I'm like, damn it.
I wanted to see this flip. Rothstein said the mothers teach their sons to be feminine to the point they beat their sons for being boys, but no girl ever got beat by her mom for being. I don't know who hurt you, Flip Rothstein, but I ain't never beat my sons for being boys. In fact, I encourage the rambunctiousness in my home, and for me, I've never had furniture that they couldn't all be on. I'm not that mom. You gonna have the plastic furniture?
That's for you.
Huh?
I said that's a definite conscience because I'll be damned. I don't have any children, but
yes.
I'm just saying.
I have children. You would be that person that be like,
I'm not going to say I would never beat my children for being them because I have all nephews. But the one thing that I would be like is, listen, y'all want to be boys? Be boys outside.
No, my boys, when my boys were small, like y'all wrestle, you guys, just have at the house. I had to make provision for them to be able to just do their thing. And so that's, my house has always been a kid-friendly house. I encourage them to be boys. I encourage the, because they don't have that masculine male figure in their life, I encourage relationships. Thankfully, my dad is, the person that's stepping in, and he can only do so much because first of all, he's old. Second of all, he lives 3,000 miles away, but I want them to have that. And so I try to, step out of my feminine energy as the mother and create those boundaries. But it's not always as effective as, when you have you basing your voice and how you have to deal with these boys. It's a lot different. But somebody else said something that I thought was interesting. They said, do you even like women? Who was that said that? Because I thought that was interesting. Majestic. It was a comment from Majestic, but I think it was up there. Hold on, let me find that one, because they said how they think that a lot of these men are projecting and don't really like women at all. They just tolerate women, and that if it's only for their benefiting. I find there are very few men that actually like women, which I thought was very interesting, because that actually is in alignment with.
Boy, black men want to be victims of black women so bad. Boy, it is sad. Oh my God, she put me on child support. Oh my God, bro, they'll run off with your children, bro. Black women would do this to you. It's like, bro, you soft. You soft. Because the average woman ain't doing that to you. Y'all dudes just soft. You want to blame women for everything. Some of y'all ain't even had no bad relationships with black women, right? And some of y'all were the causes of your failed relationships. Well, a lot of the times, it be you. And you know that to be true. A lot of y'all cheated on a good woman. A lot of y'all lost out on a good woman. You did. You didn't do what you were supposed to do, and she gone. Fam, get over it. I don't care about you getting. Listen, when y'all dudes get cheated on, I laugh. When you talk about how a woman ran off with your child, I laugh. When a woman put you on child support, I laugh, because the black man's pain, all you niggas crying, is funny to me. It's funny to me. It's funny to me, because y'all think that black women's pain is funny. Y'all laugh at black women. I seen a lot of videos where a woman will even try to say how she was raped, and y'all dismiss it. Oh, we don't believe no woman when she say that, because y'all be lying. Oh, okay. But then you'll believe your daughter. Well, actually, you niggas probably won't even believe your daughter. I can't even say that. Y'all probably won't believe your daughter. Never mind. You probably wouldn't believe your mama, because you don't believe women. You don't believe women. Even when the statistics show that 98% of all the convicted rape, I can't say the word, cases were to be true, and only 2% were found to be false. I mean, we're talking about 2%. So now I need to say that when women get raped, because there's a 2% discrepancy there, the 2%, well, it could probably be more. Shut up. That's why I laugh at these dudes, man. Get your life together. Stop crying about women. You guys are weak. I'm telling you, this is the softest generation of black men I ever seen. Y'all on a panel every day with other men. Bro, just get with the man. Dang. Please, at this point, bro, just get with the man. Because you ain't got nothing good to say about women. Next thing you know, y'all gonna be kissing each other.
I don't know, Chelsea, what you think?
I get it now. He's speaking about a certain people that he may have been in contact with that treats women.
Talking about them
like
podcast dudes that he's talking about the commenters that we had before. He talking about them people that hate black women who have all these negative things to say. I think.
Yeah, that's micro-minded, right? That's all. They're only thinking about a certain small group and not looking at the macro piece of everybody in general. So they speak in absolutes. All men don't like women, or all men talk about that. All men don't trust a woman if something happened to him. Like I think that might be his deal, man. And yeah, some of the podcast people, again, like it's, I don't know, maybe it's some men. It is some men in general, right? It takes a lot of work for a man to be able to open up and be vulnerable and be able to be comfortable not being a sheeple, not following what everybody else does, and not afraid to walk in a separate path than what everybody else thinks. And some of the podcast people, maybe, again, not hating on anybody, but some of those people in the podcast, like I think you said earlier, maybe getting some ratings, and their ratings are getting boosted for talking like that. Maybe it was April talking about the people that are pushed to the spotlight. You know, maybe that's the case, that they're looking for ratings.
A viral moment.
Exactly, looking for viral moments. I'm not looking for viral moments. I'm here to help people and get better lifestyles. And if that means going viral, then I guess I'll pass on the viral. You know what I mean? Because more of an impact is that way. But yeah, maybe that's the case. Like what he's thinking and that he's. Well,
I want to give a shout out to Mr. 40FX because he said that like Constance, that's just your opinion and your sample is 40 million people. But Mr. 40FX also said, learn your history. Inversion was thrust upon us during slavery. Read the John Lynch letter. And I don't believe, sir, that exists. I don't believe that there is a John Lynch letter. I think it might be called the Willie Lynch letter. Shut your ass up. Anyway, what was you going to say, April?
I was going to say the toxic barber needs a hug.
Can we just talk about women without having to be attacked?
Here's the funny part.
Toxic barber.
I mean, I listen, and you need a hug in more ways than a million. And it's a lot of y'all in the chat that need hugs because it's funny. We have to push women down? Is that what we have to do? Is that what you're looking for us to do? The fact of the matter is, women right now are under attack. Yeah. No matter how you look at it, women are under attack. And wait for it, black men are under attack. That's true. We are all under attack, sir, ma'am. So sit your ass down and stop being unhappy. Like, I don't know.
He said, oh my God.
No. Listen, and if you want to, honey, I'm hugging you. I'm hugging you mentally.
Please give him his little feminine self a hug.
No, and I'm not. I mean, no matter how you look at it, I'm just saying, real talk. We are all under attack, and right now.
You know, I'm just playing with you, feminine barber. You know, if this is your first time watching, I gotta give you a hard time.
Don't call him that. The fact is, you need a hug. And I feel that you should get a hug. And one thing is, he said he put on there professional victims. One thing that I can't stand is a victim who is not really a victim, right? Yeah. Like, if you're a victim, be a victim, but also work through whatever it is that you've gone through. And I think that the biggest problem is nobody decides to do the work. Everybody is always trying to figure out how we can shit on each other and say that you're the problem, as opposed to looking inward and saying, how can I advance? Like, just in general. And one thing that I made a promise to myself that I will do as it relates to my brothers is always show love. I don't care what the situation is. I will walk up to a man, wow, you look great today. How's your day going? And then I make it very clear, very married. I'm in love with my husband. I don't want anything to do with you sexually, but I want you to know that you are a beautiful black man and God made you amazing for no reason at all. And then just the fact that you are in God's image, like, sit down, sir, just be loved and love on somebody else. And maybe the more love you give, the more love you will receive. Amen. And amen again. See, I know about church.
I think we maybe half joke about the needing a hug thing.
I'm not joking. He needs a hug.
No, that's what I'm getting.
That is a full seriousness.
That is a fact. But we look at, again, so for some men, they look at hugs as, again, now you're too soft. Now you need a hug. Like, go somewhere, and you know what I mean? Like, that old ass thinking is going to keep us so pushed down and keep us fighting against each other and thinking that just
you're
like
right. I gotta stop messing around.
Like, we're talking like you guys are beating down on men. They are not beating down on men. If you can listen with an open mind and listen with a clarified mind and a understanding mind, like, you would understand that they are not bashing men. Like, this is a very needed conversation that needs to be had so that we can start becoming one culture, one person, and be able to understand each other and be able to lift each other up, man. There's too much of that bullshit right now going on, to where we got this infant adolescent thinking that's keeping us in the past, man. Working off of this 8-year-old selves, man. That's not going to work.
That's right.
You want to advance as a civilization. You want to advance as a culture. You want to advance as a person. Start doing the work, and it's not going to be easy. I know it wasn't easy for me, but I was willing to do it, so it made it all right for me. So that's all you got to do. Just put in the work, and I promise you'll reap the rewards.
Lawrence James Evans Lamar said to all the black men out there, guess what? Nobody cares about excuses. Take care of your health and get the bag before getting a wife and kids. So I could appreciate, that's that tough love that I think that the generations prior to had before we really had, single parent, single mother households where you didn't have that hard talk. And that's the thing too, because I think when you had the generation before where you had men that were more involved and they talked about being men and they talked about the accountability. I'm going to tell you this. And this is what I didn't learn until I was good and grown. And I learned it at church, and it was mind blowing for me because I didn't know this existed. Because my father, when my dad got saved, it was like, okay, I'm saved, church and God is everything, and then my kids, and then like work, and then my wife, right? And so there was this out of order that was going on in my household. And so my mother responded, as a result or accordingly, right? So, my dad, he later, understood and he apologized for his role. But I think it wasn't until I got grown and I went to church and the pastor said, there is a hierarchy in your home. The man is the head, right? And so God should be the head. So in the household, it should be God, then your spouse, then your children, family, then whatever ministry you got, right? So if you go to church or whatever, that should be after that. But there is a hierarchy that you put your spouse first. And then the other thing he said is, if men were doing what they should be doing as men, women would not have a choice but to fall in line. And so if men take their rightful place as men, and I think that we've lost that, and it's not a male bashing thing. It's really not. Like I said earlier, there is a hierarchy in a household where men have to step up and where men are the leaders. And so I defer to your leadership, and leadership does not mean money. Money does not equate leadership. It is the ability to lead and to make decisions and give direction that, is the right direction. If we all put it in the pot, it's all the same money anyway. So it doesn't matter who's bringing it in. But if you can properly lead me down a path where, my thing is, like, even when I was married, I was like, I don't need you to make the money. I just need you to help me to keep it, right? Because if you can help me keep it, then we can actually grow it together. Mm-hmm. But if you're taking from me, or taking from the pot and you're spending frivolously, then that's actually hurting us. So if even if he doesn't make the money, if he can help us to invest and do all these other things with it to grow our family, that's a leader. And so I think, we've all forgotten our places because women want to lead. They don't want to submit. They don't want to be submissive. I ain't submitting to nobody. No, you should. And the submission is a respect and a reverence for that head of your household. And it has nothing to do with he gonna tell me what to do. I wouldn't be with anybody who I couldn't submit to because if I didn't have the confidence that he was able to lead me. Does that make sense?
So yes, 100%. But can I add to that? Also, again, pop the balloon. This woman said that she can't. A gentleman asked her a question. He said, "Can you be led?" And she said, "Well, if he has given me a reason to believe that I can be led," and he was like, he popped his balloon. She was like, "Well, why did you pop your balloon?" He said, "Because you didn't even give me a chance. So you want to wait to see if I can lead you before you even give me that respect to know that I can lead you, right?" And my whole thing is, I guess it's kind of like guilty until proven innocent. If you go into it, if you find somebody that you really want to be with and you give them that trust to be able to say, I'm going to believe that you're going to lead me, then 9 times out of 10, they're going to take their role and do it well. You know what I mean? My sister taught me something before I even met my husband, before I even knew that I was ever getting married. She was like, you can't go in telling your husband to take out the trash. I was like, excuse me, if I need to tell my husband or whoever I'm dating, take out the damn trash, he needs to take out the damn trash. And she was like, no, that's not how it works. She said, if he is taking care of everything, If he's taking care of what he's supposed to take care of, how the hell are you going to tell him to take out the trash? She was like, it'll get done when it's supposed to get done. If you are in a relationship with the right person, it is going to get done when it gets done. Meaning you're going to trust that he is going to handle what he needs to handle when he handles it. And it's funny, even now, I don't go to my husband and be like, did you take out the trash? If the trash is taken out, it's taken out. And if it's not, I'm going to take it out. And I'm not going to go to him and be like, I took out the trash, because he handles everything that he's supposed to handle. You get what I'm saying? Whatever is supposed to be done, he's going to do it. And the blessing that is in our household is, if it's not done, 9 times out of 10, the other one will do it without even asking any questions. And that's what a strong relationship is. I'm always going to be my feminine self, but sometimes if I have to just step in, take care of something, I'm not going to put it out there like, let me show you what I did. It's going to be like, all right, this was done. No questions asked. And I'm not putting you down for not having the moment or the time to take care of things. Was that okay for you, Toxic?
No, that goes.
That goes. A good answer, Toxic Barbara. Was that okay, Toxic Barbara?
No, he doesn't like you because he can't. This guy is super feminine, and he's mad of that women that he's not able to lead women because I'm trying to lead her, but she won't let me be a man. She won't follow me. That's him. You ain't let me. Like, a woman cannot let you
be a man. I hate when men say that.
Man. Like, what? If you're a man, you are a man, and
but I also hate
a woman take your manhood away from you.
I hate to hear a woman also say that. I hate hearing a woman say, I'm gonna let him be a man. Excuse me, you can't let him be a man.
I gotta let you be a man, but you ain't the man for me.
Right. And then the man cannot say to me, you didn't let me be a man. Then then I'm gonna need your balls to drop. That's what I'm gonna need you to do. I'm gonna need you to let your balls drop.
Two things on the April that you were talking about, like, because when you talk about being led, like, there's not enough grace and there's not enough trust to allow somebody to lead in a lot of relationships. That's one. And two is there's that communication is not there to understand what that relationship is going to look like. So each person is expecting something from the other person, and nobody is communicating that in a way that the other person would understand, in the other way that it resonates with that person. So you just go along for, months, days, and years expecting somebody to do something, building up this resentment for one another. And then you get to that part, well, she didn't let me lead, or he wasn't a man enough for me, or he wasn't, didn't show any emotion, that type of stuff like that too. But there's that trust and that grace that it all goes back to the understanding and, simplifying things from the beginning of a relationships and having that conversation that people don't want to have. So.
Amen. So really quick, so I do want to, because I want to talk about the whole idea of, when you say, listen, if I got to take out the trash, I got to take out the trash. And if I got to, put a little bit more in, because there's an idea that, it has to be 50-50, which doesn't really exist in a relationship. But the whole idea of having this 50-50 conversation that we've been hearing and it's getting old and wore out. What is it that we're teaching our daughters and our sons about relationships? And we're going to talk about it when we come back from this Jim Merck show. Have you joined the Grow Your Money Club yet? If not, why not? The Grow Your Money Club is a comprehensive program designed to take you through the complete wealth building journey. We don't just offer random courses, we guide you along a clear path, starting with fixing your credit and becoming a certified credit expert, to building your business, increasing your cash flow, diversifying your portfolio, and ultimately letting your money work for you. With over 30 trainings designed to increase your net worth, you get to either purchase the trainings individually or go through the 12-month roadmap. Here are just a few of the courses. From campus to cash flows. This is teaching your children to become real estate investors. The wealth map training shows you how to eliminate your debt, increase your credit, and diversify your revenue streams. You can learn to write your book using ChatGPT. Learn how to build your online community. What about 8 ways to make money using AI? Oh, and here's 7 online revenue streams to fund your $1 million dream. How about learning how to purchase tax deeds or land banks? What about getting started in government contracting? If you're a rookie, the Real Estate for Rookies training has everything you need. The Business Blueprint training will help you build your business foundation
get business credit, get business funding, and learn how to pay yourself so that you can scale your business to the next level. Or perhaps you want to create jaw-dropping video content using CapCut, Midjourney, and ChatGPT. There are so many trainings and master classes within the Grow Your Money Club, and I also drop one new training per month. You do not want to miss out on this opportunity to invest in yourself, because guess what? You are your biggest commodity. You are your biggest investment. Join the Grow Your Money Club today.
April, what are you doing?
I'm reading.
What's so funny? Is there a joke in that book?
It is. It says, if you don't have this book, you're broke.
So I want to talk about this whole idea of this 50-50. What do you think about that, Chauncey? What do you think about this idea of women going 50-50 with a man?
I don't think a relationship is 50-50. A relationship is 100-100. Each person gives 100%. But there might be some times in those relationships where sometimes I can't give 100. Sometimes I can only give 80. So my partner's going to have to give 120. So the 50-50 deal, I don't really buy into that.
What about financially?
Financially, I mean, it's the same. Like the way I did it was like you put the same money in the same pot. Like that's cool if you have a relationship that's built off of trust and built off of good communication and built off of mutual growth. If you don't really trust in your partner, or you just in the mindset of I still have to keep some type of independence, then one person may be responsible for bringing in their share, and another person might be responsible for bringing in their share, and just keep it totally separate. But yeah, that's just up to the relationships, up to the thought process in that couple, the relationship.
Okay. What do you think about 50-50, April?
Well, I don't agree with anything 50-50. And I'm sorry, Chauncey, I don't agree with 100-100.
Uh-huh.
I actually think that it is getting where you fit in. So sometimes it could be 70-30. And I would say that you will meet whoever your spouse is by saying, listen, I'm at 10 right now. Can you give me 90? You know what I mean?
That's what he was saying.
That's what I was saying. You're right.
Okay, well, okay.
No, you're right. The other part was sometimes you can only give 80 and the other person has to give, you know what I mean?
So you're saying get yours. My apologies. I'm sorry.
You're good. No, you're good. I understand. You're good.
Okay. You could judge me, but do it tomorrow afternoon. Not today. So yes.
I agree with that.
All right. So
what do you think about this?
That's a good question.
I know what you had. You had 100-0. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to put that out there, but I meant it. So with having 100-0, like where do you think that you would want to see your life moving forward?
I just want my life to be easier, right? I just don't want to have to work so hard. So I think when you're with somebody, they should add to, they should bring value to where you don't have to. That's all I want. I just want to be able to relax and then trust that I can relax and not have the rug pulled from under me at some point where, listen, I trust you. You were here, we out here on this island, we doing this thing, we go, and then suddenly, we're not. So I just want to be able to not have to work so hard. So whatever that means, because I love what I do, I just don't want to have to. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah. They say nobody works harder than Constance Carter. Sometimes it just needs to be nobody chills more than Constance Carter.
I want to just chill sometimes. I don't want to have to figure everything out. I just want to chill. I want to exhale. So let's look at this thing about this 50-50.
My husband makes me believe I need to have a businesswoman mindset and hustle as hard as him. That just makes me think that, does he want to date a man? I don't want to date a man. I don't want to date a woman who thinks like a man. You know how much it takes to make money in business? It's so hard. It's math and calculations and negotiations and aggression, and you're just thrusting your will out into the world, and you're trying to carve a piece out of it, and it's hard as fuck, and it's all the time battles. Every day something bad happens, all day, and you're getting attacked on all sides all the time, between competition, clients, fucking IRS, the government, whatever. You're just all the time at odds, and it's hard every day. And you know what that does to you, by the way? It hardens you. It makes your face harden. It makes you much more callous to the world and much less wide-eyed and hopeful and naive and joyful, and much more like, are you trying to fuck me? Are you trying to fuck me over somehow? What's going on? It makes you far more calloused, like I said. So why do I want that in a woman? Why do I want that at home? You get what I'm saying? I'm dealing with that every day as it is. And then I got to come home and deal with a woman who's just as hardened as me. That you might as well date a man. And I say that full well, that my mother was a single mother. She started her own business to provide for us. She did the best she can with what she got. And it also brings out a lot of masculine traits in a woman. And that's what it requires. And if your man or husband's like, oh, you need to have a business mindset. You need to think like a man and all that stuff. Why would you want a woman to think like a man? Why do you need that? And I think, again, that's just an inadequacy thing. That's just you're not making enough yourself. You're projecting on your woman. Women can be helpful in ways that aren't necessarily measurable, but are just as helpful to your quality of life. And people fucking don't understand that. That's what these same guys that are on these podcasts are saying. They're mad at women because women don't think like men. And it's like, do you want them to? Why not just date a man if that's what you want? You get what I'm saying? Like, women contribute to things in my life that are just stuff that I can't quantify. Like this art and stuff in my house. As a designer, a woman put that up for me. You see? Because I'm a man and I think like a man. And I need some civility and some taste and some perspective that I can't offer as a man. So I lend my trust to women who can help me and shore up those things in my life. That's what women do. Why do you want them to be a man? Seems like you need a stay-at-home Latina. I might need one.
So I just want to send a shout out to the feminine barber because I think he wants a man. I really do. I think the feminine barber wants a man. But go ahead, April. What were you saying?
No, he just wants somebody to show him some love. Everybody send him a hug. Send him a mental hug. Everybody give him a hug. Now I just want to know, did you know he was white?
Yes, I did.
Oh, no.
You thought I don't like white people? I love white people. Some of my best friends are white.
The lie detector determined. No, I'm just joking. It's funny because it's true. I think that what he was saying was true. And I also think that everybody's relationship is different and everybody's role needs to be defined. I think that if you're having an issue with the type of relationship you have, then you need to define your roles.
Right.
And he's like, I want pretty things, but I know that I'm not the one to make pretty things happen. So I'm going to find the right feminine energy to make the pretty thing that I want be a pretty thing. Like, that's real. And men say that they want, if you say that you want somebody who's going to do all the things that you're doing, that's probably because you are lacking in that area, or because you don't want to put in the work, so you want her to put in that work. Because she's going to have to put in work. It's a lot of work being feminine, damn it.
It is. They think it's not. It's even more work being masculine. I tell you, it is exhausting. Chauncey, what you think about what the man said?
Maybe it depends on. Actually, I'm gonna piggyback on what April was saying. Like that, the roles need to be clearly defined in a relationship, and there needs to be an understanding from the get-go of who does what. And I think that would help clarify, and that would help establish a basis of a great relationship going forward. But those aren't, people don't have those talks. Like we can say that pretty easily about, what needs to be done, but people are even scared to have those talks and define relationships. And they just, the expectations is one person's going to do this and one person's going to do that. And people don't play to their strengths like they do in business. So.
Agreed. And I think that's what it all comes down to, y'all. So we can have fun and the feminine barber, I'm not mad at you at all. And I'm not trying to attack you, but it does seem like that you really have a hatred towards Black women. And that's unfortunate because, I may joke around with you and give you a hard time. People do that all the time. They call us names and they talk about us and we love it. We actually love it. We ain't mad at it at all. Trust. You're not hurting our feelings.
Wait, who am I?
You are, a coontress
and nobody's
friend. Yes. April's nobody's friend, and she's a coontress. But I do believe that what Chauncey said about just having the conversations are extremely important because we do need to have these conversations so that we can know. And I think it does come down to What is your preference? What is it that you need from a person? And you can't paint everybody with a broad brush. So when we're talking about Black men or Black women are all this or all of that, Travis said, shout out to Travis, who's my cousin. He said, I don't have a problem with a Black woman being feminine. If she ain't feminine, I'll just go to the next one. Like it's not a hard thing to get. It might not be her. She ain't it. You can't control her. No. But maybe go to somebody that will be a better fit for you. Right. But we're going to head on out of here. I want you to give you your final thoughts on, just the conversation and where can they find you? So I want to start with you, Chauncey.
Yeah, you can catch my podcast somewhere out right now on YouTube and all podcast platforms. It's the Be Better For You podcast, where I talk about becoming a better human being. And that, I think that's what I really want to get out of some of the men in your chats, because you can be tough, but the toughest men have a balance of being able to be vulnerable and being able to be masculine and being able to know when to cut it on and off. Jason Wilson talks about this a lot, but that needs to be the issue, because I'm thinking when I'm reading some of the comments, it's just a lack of knowledge, man, and a lack of understanding and not wanting to stand out and still wanting to be prideful and be masculine around certain people, man. Like if we talk about like the barber, like you said, it's nothing malicious against him. I mean, I understand he's just, speaking, but you have an audience of your clients that come in there that will probably depending on your word on what to say. And they're going to start to believe that. And they're going to start bringing their kids in there. And that shit's just going to be passed down on. And there's never going to be an understanding of how to have a good conversation where people are really listening to each other and getting an understanding. But yeah, just to Be Better For You podcast, being better for you, becoming a better human being, talking about becoming your best version every single day. And that takes some work. So do the work, and I guarantee that it's going to pay off and you're going to be a better human being. And more people, you're probably going to get some more clients. If I'm being honest with you, you're going to get a different audience in there, and they're going to want to come and see you and listen to what you got to say. So
good stuff. April, what's your final thought? Where can they find you?
You can find me in all things April Sampe. Just April Sampe everywhere. And download the Ugly album. Just because you too, especially the Toxic Barber.
She really loves Black men, and I do too.
I wrote a song about y'all. I think y'all are so unbelievably amazing. And so those are my final words. I think Black men are a blessing. I love Black men. I appreciate Black men. I think that Black men need more credit. I think Black men need more love. I think Black men need more hugs. Especially my husband. Like I get on my husband's last and final nerve with how often I hug and kiss on him. It's probably annoying, and I don't care. I'm like, I just want you to know that there's love for you in every way, shape, and form. And that is my role as your wife, to give you that, right? And I feel that any of you who don't have that, I pray that you do get it. I pray that you get it, and I pray that you get annoyed by the love that you are receiving, and you definitely don't want it to stop. Like, that's what I pray for. Constance, what about you, babe?
Listen, I love Black people. This is the reason why I come live every single day. And I'm always trying to give you something that's going to edify you. I love having a good time. I love when April comes here and we just try to bring you something different and talk about different things. But at the end of the day, I love Black people, and we need each other to survive. We need each other to build wealth, to build our communities. And so these conversations that we have around, the red pill, blue pill, man against women. He's, I forget his name, but he's right about the Willie Lynch letter, because that was ingrained in us in slavery, that, we were pit against each other. And then other things that have happened during the course of our time here in America has exacerbated that separation in the Black family. Honestly and truly, all of the she don't do this and we ain't that and he ain't shit. There's no other race of people that do it as much as we do, and we have to stop it. And we have to come from a place of understanding, why is it that she's acting like this? Why is she so masculine? Why is she so untrusting? Why is he so untrustworthy? What are some things that, what's the trauma that they're bringing to the table? And have these really clear dialogues so that we can move forward. Because the point is not to just have the dialogues just to be talking about some shit, right, but it's really to bring our culture forward so that we can be better together. Because the only way we're going to close this wealth gap is if we work together. J. Edgar Hoover said in 1955, the biggest threat to America was Negro unity. And specifically, if we have Black unity within our families, ain't nothing they can do to stop us. So I'm gonna let you guys go. But before we go, I want to show y'all something.
Turn me on when they run me like a ninja.